What's going on out here, man? This is Joseph P. Langdon, aka the Underdog Coach. We turn underdogs to top dogs using 5 basic strategies: communication, self-motivation, leadership, fortitude, and the execution.
Everyone has been an underdog. Streams all the way back to Little League. When you were a toddler, people will look past you and believe that you didn't have what it takes. They will not see you coming as you rise, as you work every single day, tirelessly, for what you dream of.
Fearless. How you doing today? This is Joseph P. Langdon, aka the Underdog Coach, and I turn underdogs into top dogs. But the greatest asset that I figured out about myself is being able to identify other coaches who mean the same thing for the people that I do. And we have nobody better than the extraordinary Teresa M. And when I say M, I mean man, she's phenomenal. And I have to tell you something, she came over from Michigan to tell her story of pain and glory, but most importantly, to share principles and basic elements so that you too can be successful in your life. But it came from a hard plight that she had to face and hold herself accountable so she could move on. And it's important that she's here to share with you today who she is, what she represents, and why she also is very important when transforming the mindsets of underdogs. So without no further ado, can you please tell us your name?
Teresa M. Gray.
All right now. All right now. Where you coming from? Because now we in the double O right now. So,
right.
You know, I am a big fan of the Ohio Buckeyes, even though I'm from Brooklyn. And we don't really
Go
like,
blue.
the big blue over here. But we made an exception for you. We love you. So can you tell us where you're from and a little bit about your upbringing?
Yeah, I actually grew up in southern Ohio, so I have moved throughout my life quite a few times, and I have landed last in the Metro Detroit area.
Detroit now. I know a lot about Detroit. They got a lot of flavor out there.
Absolutely.
So I'm sure you picked up a lot of different elements to bring to the forefront. So give me a couple things that you learned along the way that you didn't know back then in the past will work for you today in your present.
The number one thing that I think we all need, and I still need it every day, is confidence.
Okay.
You know, we really live in a world today that is struggling with anxiety, depression, low self-esteem, setbacks, obviously COVID. People are still coming out of COVID, and we just don't even have the confidence sometimes to get up out of bed, just to get a shower, just to go about our day in a normal stance. And so a lot of people have a lot of dreams, and dreams take confidence. You got to step out there. You got to put yourself out there in front of people. You got to be willing to fail. You got to face some fears. You got to take some risks. So I'd say confidence is the number one thing that we all need.
Was you always exuberant or exuded this confidence? Was it something that you created along the way as a defense mechanism for those who might have said you wasn't confident?
Oh, that's a great question. Definitely didn't have it along the way, the whole way. And I grew up the first 20 years in a lot of trauma, abuse. I mean, sexual abuse, physical abuse, mental abuse. It started at the age of 3 months. It was the first time I was abandoned by my parent with a person my parent had never even met. I was left with a complete stranger for 3 months when I was 3 months old.
For 3 months when you was 3 months?
Yes.
That had to take a toll on a child. I'm sure you didn't understand what was going on. However, that's why you're who you are today. A lot of times we go through things and we don't know that God is preparing us for the hardest moments in our life.
Yes.
He make us experience it when we can't understand it. So so what he does is basically takes the responsibility so we can't feel it or even understand what's going on. It's only when we older when we hear stories like that, because I'm sure somebody had to tell you this. So how did you feel when you was abandoned by your parents? What type of confidence knock did you take from that? Did it affect you?
Oh yeah. I was an awkward kid, right? So this started at 3 months. So from grade school to high school, I was picked on. I didn't know how to socialize. I didn't even know how to walk or talk. I mean, I know that sounds crazy, but I literally found out that a best friend and her mother would make fun of the way I talked behind my back, and I found out years later, and I had to fix the way I talked. Apparently, I talked too slow for them. I was pimply. I didn't know how to wear makeup. I didn't know how to fix hair. I had a ton of hair. I still got a ton of hair, but I didn't know how to fix it. Didn't know how to carry myself. Didn't know how to present myself. I always said the wrong things at the wrong times. And after a while, you just have no self-esteem, no self-worth. And I really got the impression that I was just defective. I was defective, not wanted, not worthy, and I had no future.
Wow. And I hear this story a lot from young ladies. I talk to a lot of young ladies in my community because my girl Sonny's a teenager. So he brings a lot of young ladies over there. And sometimes I can see that they wear a lot of makeup and clothes to cover up their insignificances in their own minds. Like they flaws that they think, oh, my nose is this or my eyes is that. So my question to you was, how are you able to give a young girl step-by-step confidence? Because most of the times, a lot of them cover themselves up with makeup. They might cover themselves up with clothes to cover up their beauty or whatever, or maybe reveal too much, hoping that they can get somebody's approval. And I'm sure there's a lot of girls that you might have ran into in this day and time, as well as when you were younger. So what information would you be able to give a young lady right now that somebody might be saying she's not pretty or she might not be this or that? What can you give her in terms of confidence that can help her catapult herself to the next level?
Man, that's a great question. First thing I would say is she needs to know herself, the insides and outsides of herself, know herself better than anybody else. So when somebody comes talking some smack, she already knows she's prepared for that, right? Know who she's called to be in this life and walk in that and just let it stand. Don't make excuses. Don't make any cover-ups. So if you got a big nose, rock the big nose. Decorate. It doesn't matter. You don't have to cover up flaws and imperfections because the point is everybody else has them too. Yeah. And most of the time, if somebody's saying something to you about yours, they're really insecure about their own.
Wow.
It's not about you. It's about them.
Wow.
It's about how they don't fit in. So that's what I would tell her, step one. Step two, be prepared to face some fears, right? There's a fear of not fitting in. There's a fear of not being good enough, fear of not being selected, the fear of rejection. I mean, I already told you I was abandoned at 3 months, and abandonment continued to happen throughout my life. By the time I was 6, I was in 7 different foster homes.
Wow.
It's just how it went. You got to get over that fear.
Wow.
So you don't fake it till you make it. You face it till you make it.
Ooh.
You face it till you make it.
Whoa. Did you just say you don't fake it till you make it? You face it till you make it. I never heard that.
I sure did.
I never heard that before, and I can take that and break it down in so many different ways to feed somebody else's low self-esteem and confidence, right? Because you won't believe this, but there's some people in the world that might have all the greatest confidence in the world, but it's really not confidence. It's just a show.
Yep.
And behind closed doors. So I will ask you this right here, because I know a lot about your story in terms of what you share with the world and share with us on a personal level. And what I find to be so strong about you is that you've been through all of these different types of abuses. Not just one, not two, but several. And you're able to, the word resilient, I really don't like to use that word too much because it's overrated. But I know everybody uses it. They don't even know why to use it, right?
It's one of my favorite words.
Well, because you know what it means. But I want to make it a little bit more simplified for people, because a lot of people hear the word but don't know what the word means. But for you to have the ability to bounce back after you were smacked down, kick, punch, and uppercut it. You wiped your scars, your bruises, and you kept moving. That is something a lot of people can't do. What gives you that strength, that tenacity, to be able to get up no matter what, despite your past?
Oof. First and foremost for me as a Christian, it's God for sure. I know that He has a purpose for me.
Yes.
I'm here to do His work and His assignments as He dishes those out.
Yes.
So it's His call when I'm down and out. Not my call, not somebody else's call. So come at me, bro. That's all I got to say. The second thing is, if I haven't been taken off this planet with the things that I've been through, either what other people have done to me, I mean, I could have easily been trafficked.
Yeah.
I could have been sold. Yeah. I could have been killed. There's a lot of things that could have happened to me.
Yes.
And if I didn't have the mindset to take myself out from all that trauma, there is absolutely nothing that is going to touch me on this planet. I mean, I might be hurt. I might be bruised. I might be scraped. It might burn. It might hurt. But I know at the end of the day, when I can do nothing else but stand, I can stand.
Wow, and that right there is some of the reasons that people admire people when they're not around. Because we all want that certain type of strength that we can have in the dark. You know, some of us are stronger in the light than we are in the dark. Meaning that when we're around people, we can, exude some type of strength. Hey, yeah, I've been there, I'm strong. And then when we go in the room, so when we cry, there's nothing wrong with that. However, I don't mind crying in the light. Because what it does, it replenishes you.
Yeah.
And there's many times that I've cried with y'all. And what I found about your story to be so beautiful out of all of that is the spider, the insy bincy spider story you told me. You remember that?
I do.
And
the big old spider that just about got me.
And you probably told me this story probably 5 months ago. I never repeated it to you again, never even brought the spider up to you. But I just want to show you them months and months and months ago that you shared that with me, it always still with me.
Oh.
So I know if it's still with me, I know what you're doing now for society is going to be left in great hands. So one more question for you, and this is very important. What made you become an entrepreneur? Out of all of that, now we talk about physical, mental, verbal, every type of abuse someone can withstand.
Yeah.
But you was able to take all of that and make it a fruitful thing. Because being an entrepreneur, you have to really be thinking. You have to think. You have to know what you're doing. You got to have a vision. You got to put things in perspective.
Yeah.
With all that you've been through, that plight, all that trauma, you still had the ability to conceptualize an idea, a vision, and a plan to apply it and become a boss. That is crazy. How did you do that?
Man, I'm impressed just hearing you say it.
Ugh.
Honestly, it just all starts with purpose.
Yeah.
My whole life, from the time I was born, people were trying to make me small so they could be big, trying to make me less than so they could be more than. And when I realized I had potential to change that, and I didn't have to live in that environment, and I didn't have to be like that. And of course, God sent me some breakthroughs too.
Yeah.
I want to pay homage and be
Of course.
honest about that. Once I was wise enough to take those breakthroughs, I realized that I have no limit that God never put on me. These people have no jurisdiction over my life. You don't get to tell me who I'm going to be and what I'm going to do. And so then I go into the corporate world. And in corporate, there's a lot of experiences there where you come up against the same resistance in a different way. Now it's just in a suit and a tie with a smiley face and good cologne, right? Same situation. Put in a corner, told what you're allowed to do, told what you're talented and what you're designed for. I was like, you know what? I can design my life. I know how to make it money. I can make it in different ways. I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket. And let me be frank, I want more than one basket.
Yeah.
I ain't worried about the eggs. I need the basket. I'll fill them with the eggs later, right?
That makes sense.
So, no, nobody gets to put me in the corner. And they shouldn't put anybody else in the corner.
You hear that? Now, with this right here, I have to leave you with this because this is very important. Then I'm going to let her give you her last words, right? But when I think about Teresa's story, I think about two different types of pain. You have one pain that hurts, like physical pain. You get over it. Can't even remember how I feel again 3 months from now. You don't even remember what it felt like. You just can see the scars. Get some Neosporin, cocoa butter stick, you don't even know it's there no more. But then you have a type of pain that changes you. Pain that hurts physically and pain that changes you mentally. And the pain that I see that you experience, it changed you to the point where it did wonders for you. Because a lot of times, if you have not faced anything, you don't know how to fight.
That's right.
You was born a fighter. That's why you still fighting. And I'm so proud of you and grateful to know you. And I mean that. Thank you. Is there anything would you like to say before we leave here? I'm very emotional because y'all don't know, like, me and these people have been spending countless days together and working on our gifts, working on our skill sets. We are really friends. We really communicate with each other. We really smile. And we all come from different areas and different places. As you can see, she's a Caucasian woman, and I'm what they consider a black man. But what we figured out is that, hey, our words are the same in the night, which means they're effective, they're powerful. So there's no color, there's no religion, there's nothing that should ever get in the place of humanity and us sticking together and working like an ant colony. And I'm thankful once again because your story is going to change the outcome for so many young girls whether they're white, black, or brown.
Thank you.
Continue to be the confidence booster that you are. Continue to share your story, inspire, motivate, but most importantly, we have to make sure that we coach them into who they're supposed to be.
Absolutely.
Thank
And
you.
that's my job. You know, you asked me if I had anything else I wanted to say. Yes, it is my job to remind people they are worthy, they are wanted, they are loved, and if the people around you don't embrace you, they ain't your people. You gotta go find your people. And Joseph is my people. You can find this stuff at teresamgray.com. You can also find it on Pinterest, Facebook, Twitter, all the socials.
Everyone has been an underdog.